What's up, people of the tube? Justin Hatt back here with a brand new lesson. This week we're checking out another Novocation tune, Novocation's August. I love this tune. You guys keep asking for all these Novocation requests and all these different song tutorials for this band, so I'm just going to keep doing them until nobody wants to hear them anymore. I'm not going to be playing an intro for this one. I'm just going to zoom in and break it on down. There's a lot of different parts, so let's get on right into it. Alright guys, so let's just talk about the chord structure here. There's not that many chords. There's only 5 chords and they just happen over and over again. They just repeat. So before we actually get into the verses and the chorus, I want to teach that little synth line that happens on the piano, the little part before the Mario line comes in, the part that goes like this. And that's actually the vocal melody. What I'm doing here is I'm in 10th position here, so I'm going to start between basically the 10th and 12th fret. And the first note that we're going to have is going to be on the 11th fret of the G. And we're going to walk up the scale. So we're going to go 11 on the G, 10 on the B, 12 on the B, and we're going to alternate between that. So then after we do this part, then we're going to jump down to the 9th fret on the high E, our C sharp note. Or if you want, that same exact note is played up here on the 14th fret of the B, so you could slide up to that. Whatever you're most comfortable with. Again, that's the line that's played on the piano, so it's not actually played on the guitar. But since we're guitar players, we're going to transpose it to the guitar. Alright, so that's that little synth part that opens up. And then you're going to hear these little chords that happen that kind of accompany that after that line. So that's really, really cool. Alright, so what I'm doing there is I'm actually playing an A major chord. I typically play it down here on the 2nd fret, just because the next chord really follows well to this. But anyway, you can play it in any different way. So anyway, the chords are A, and then to a B, and then to a D major, then to a D minor. Love that minor 4 progression. But anyway, so that whole part would sound like this. So this would be your intro. And then the verses would come in. So again, that's just an A to a B to a D major to a D minor. Then for the verses, where it says, you know, Mom, this is something I have to get off my chest, it's just going to be D, then B, and there's a couple different ways that you could consider playing these chords. So I think they're actually using like these major chords, but you could also use these power chords if you want, but I'm pretty sure they have the thirds in there. So anyway, for the verse, you're gonna have D, something I have to get off my A chord, chest, recently I've B, feeling so quite distressed. So there's a couple different things that I'm hearing in the original recording. So sometimes I hear this F sharp inversion with the F sharp and the bass, but if you just want to play a standard D major chord, that's okay as well. But if you want to play it with the D, or D with F sharp and the bass, and then to the D minor, you would have your fingers, we put first finger on the low 2nd fret of the low E to get our F sharp. Then we put our 2nd finger on the A, 2nd fret of the G, and 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B to get that F sharp in the bass. But if you don't want to put that in there, that's fine. So anyway, those chords for just the verse would be D, something I have to get off my A chord, recently I've B chord, feeling so quite D, D minor, and again you can play that in multiple different positions. So you can play D, something to get off my A chord, but recently B chord, feeling so quite distressed. And basically there's not a lot of strumming pattern that's going down on that part yet. It picks up towards the chorus when you're actually coming in with strumming, and we'll talk about that in a moment. but the majority of the time it's just strumming once on that chord and letting it sustain through. So let me play through that again. Hello, it's a Mario, let me sing you a song, or whatever, how it goes. And so again, those are the chords that are going to play through the entire song. So then you're going to have the chorus part where it's going to pick up a little bit. And I'm kind of all just doing down strums, honestly. I don't think there's anything specific to it. So I'd have my D chord, A chord, B chord, D minor, and then it starts to pick up a little more. Yeah. So again, D to A, however you want to play it, to B, to D, to D minor, to D. So that's going to take care of all of your verses and chorus. Primarily, there's only like one other little big thing that we'll talk about. That's the little lead part, the So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more on that so we can break that lead part down. Really, I'm up in this position up here between like 12 and 14, really. So we're going to do this little double stop idea. So I'm barring across the top two strings on the 12th fret, the B and the high E, and I'm doing this alternation. And then after that, I'm going to hammer up to the 14th fret on the B and play those same alternations. So this part. So that's going to happen. And then once you finish that line, then you're going to do this little walk up. And it's going to sound like this, where you're just doing it on one string. So that's on 10 of the B, 12 on the B, and then 14th of the B. So this. And then you're going to have this cool line. And how that's going to go is you're going to slide from 12 to 14 on the high E, and then back to 12 on high E, and then go to 14 on that B again, and then alternate between 12 and 14 on the high B and E. So you'd have this. And that's all being played, so this is where it can be kind of tricky because there's lots of overdubs. So then over top of that, you're hearing this part, which is happening by the keyboard player. So all together so far. So that would take care of that. One more time, really slow. And to finish that lick up, you're gonna do that fret against the 12th fret of the bar again on B and E. And then you're going to slide down, but when your first finger is going to go on the 10th of the B, and your third finger is going to go on the 12th of the high E, and this is where it's going to resolve, and then you're going to be done. So again, let's play this all together collectively so you can kind of hear how this would sound. And then you have this walk up. And then this part again, and then this, while all being played over the, or playing it this way. So that leads are gonna happen all over that. And then there's also the live version, so these leads all kind of, there's a lot of variations to it, because this, what I'm taking, is kind of based off not only the live version, but also the studio version, so they're kind of, they're not all being played exactly the same on each recording, because there's variations to it. Then they're on the live recording, I also heard them playing like, and it was like this line that was, it was all just between like 10 and 12, or excuse me, 12 and 14 on the B and E. And they were doing these different types of alternations, so I'm not really sure, you know, why, but whatever, that's just the way they play it. So anyway, again, just to recap, that whole entire lick, in the intro lick, that's the intro, right? And then you have that again. And then this again. And that's gonna happen over that D minor chord. So again, just to recap all the chords, we're thinking basically just D major, to A major, to B major, to D major, to D minor. And you can figure out how you want to play these chords in any single position. I was playing them down here earlier, then in first position, then I was playing them up here. You can play them in any position that you want. But just remember, primarily, you're thinking just one strum per chord, and then once it starts to get a little bit more busy, then you're thinking more of that pop strummy type rhythm. Thanks for sticking around, and thanks for all the support over the past couple years. If you haven't noticed, I've just hit my first 800 subscribers. I know 800 doesn't seem like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, it really is for me. It's just continuing to grow ever so steadily. So if you guys like the video, I'll have all my links in the description as normal, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.